Labour has called for an urgent investigation after a couple's 3 foster children were taken from them because they're members of the UKIP, the UK Independence Party. The husband and wife claim a social worker and a fostering agency official in Rotherham told them UKIP's policies meant they were unsuitable to look after the 3 ethnic minority children. Well, let's go live to Rotherham now and Mike McCarthy. And Mike, what exactly have you been hearing there? What are the soundings?
Well, the head of Children's Services here at Rotherham has been saying that she'd been criticised in the past for not paying enough attention to these children's cultural and ethnic needs, and she said that it was as a result of that consideration that the children were moved. She said that they were never supposed to be with the parents long term, and we've just had a statement from Rotherham Council which says that after a group of sibling children were placed with agency foster carers, issues were raised regarding the long-term suitability of the carers for these particular children. It goes on to say, with careful consideration, a decision was taken to move the children to alternative care. We continue to keep the situation under review. Now, Rotherham Council is Labour controlled, and the Labour Party nationally have also called for an inquiry into what has happened and said that membership of UKIP should not block parents from adopting or fostering children.
OK, Mike, thank you very much for that update. Well, UKIP's leader Nigel Farage joins us now live from Middlesbrough. Good morning to you. When did you first hear about this particular case?
On Tuesday of the week just gone, and I spoke to the couple concerned. The children had been removed the previous Friday. They were clearly very upset, very distressed by what had happened, and that's my first and my primary concern, is that they get a fair deal and these 3 children get a fair deal, because what has happened is outrageous.
And did you contact the couple?
No, the couple contacted us. Yes, they are members of UKIP, but, you know, UKIP is a non-racist, non-sectarian political party. I mean, for goodness sake, we've got the Croydon North by-election going on at the moment where Jamaican-born Winston McKenzie is our candidate. So there's absolutely no grounds for this at all, other than, of course, the fact that it was the Labour government that opened the door to uncontrolled mass immigration into this country on a scale that we've never seen in the history of these islands. And then whenever anybody tries to attempt to debate the thing sensibly, they're written off as being racist. And perhaps you might remember when Gordon Brown was confronted during the last general election, he wrote off that woman, Gillian Duffy, as being a bigoted old woman. And what we've seen in Rotherham this week is much of the same, I'm afraid.
Do you think, though, that there is a perception that UKIP are a racist party, that is the common view of the man on the street?
I think there is a perception, not just from the Labour Party, but Mr Cameron too has called UKIP racist in the past. There is a perception that we should not even debate immigration, that we should not even question the open-door immigration policy that we've had to Eastern Europe, that we should all shut up and go away. Well, frankly, we can't do that, because to have such a massive oversupply in the unskilled labour market at a time when we have 21% youth unemployment, massive pressure on social services, and in a year's time, the door opening to 29 million people from the very poor countries of Romania and Bulgaria is ludicrous. We've got to have a proper debate on this. I don't think anybody out there who's met UKIP, who understands what we're about, thinks we're racist in any way at all. This has been an attempt by the establishment to stifle debate.
We just must make people aware that it is the Rotherham by-election coming up next week. Quite convenient timing. It does serve your purpose because it shines the floodlight on UKIP.
Well, I mean, what it does, it gives the electors in Rotherham an opportunity to express an opinion. And my view would be they have a chance, if they wish, to punish the local Labour authority for behaving in the way in which they behave. But you know, it's a free election, it's an open contest.
But the key thing, though, is the timing. Why has this story come out as it has at this particular time, the week before the by-election?
If you're accusing me of political cynicism, please do not.
I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just wondering if you might like to offer a view on why this story has come about when it has.
Because last Friday, council officials came and removed 3 children from the home of foster parents who have a record of several years at being very good at their job. The timing was the choice of Rotherham Council, not the choice of UKIP.
And back to the issue that we raised earlier, do you see how any of your policies could be construed as racist in any way?
We're very clear that we believe that whilst we have no prejudice against anybody from any part of the world, we believe that immigration into Britain ought to be controlled. And that since 2004, to have had a total unlimited open door to the whole of Eastern Europe is an irresponsible and bad thing to do, and in fact has damaged many of our communities by dividing them, put massive pressure on social services and contributed to rising unemployment. We say that as a party that has no desire to be against anybody, but a strong desire to put British communities first. That ought to be a proper debate in British politics, and what the Labour, Tory and Lib Dems have tried to do is to kill that debate. Well, they're not going to succeed, and we're going to make sure these things are discussed. And as I say, given that in a year's time we open the doors to 29 million people from two very poor Eastern European countries, we urgently need to have this debate.
You've accused Rotherham Council of being the new apartheid. Can you see how volatile using that sort of language is and how it points us to the debate of race?
Well, what has happened this morning is Rotherham Council are now backtracking, which is good, and they have responded to our first request, which is that this couple should be allowed to foster again. And I'm pleased that at least they've done that. But what they've said is rather insulting. They've said the couple may foster again, but only white children. That, frankly, is pursuing an apartheid-style policy, dividing up children and categorising adults. I'm sorry, that simply isn't good enough. What Rotherham Council ought to be doing is they ought to be apologising wholeheartedly for the concern and the upset that they've caused, and heads should roll within that council.
And I take it from what you said, you're in favour of interracial adoption, that you'd be as happy for a black couple to adopt or foster a white child.
I think we should be colourblind in these things. What we should be doing is looking, particularly with fostering, which is a very tough thing for people to do emotionally and in every way. We should be making sure that children, whatever background they come from, and parents, whatever background they come from, we need to give these children a loving environment in which they can be helped to move on, possibly to be adopted long-term by somebody else. It's the interests of the child that matter, not some politically correct theory.
And as far as you're aware, are the couple going to continue to support UKIP?
Well, I don't see any reason why they shouldn't. They were Labour voters, I make that point. They've switched to UKIP. They believe in what UKIP stands for. They are absolutely horrified to hear the party being branded as racist. And I very much hope they continue to support UKIP and they get back to fostering children and doing the excellent job they've been doing, the important job they've been doing for our community, which they've done well for the last 7 years, and I hope they can continue to do so for many more years to come.
You mentioned there that they were previously Labour supporters. Labour, incidentally, have called for an urgent investigation. Is that something that you will be supporting also?
Well, yes. I mean, I think the Labour Party needs to have a very big investigation and it really needs to apologise very publicly for attempting to write off anyone that discusses this. They need to examine what the impact of their policies in government have been. And I would love to hear Mr Miliband and Mr Cameron say that we're going to say to the European Union, no, we've gone too far, we need to get back control of our borders because, frankly, we cannot take yet another huge migratory wave when Romania and Bulgaria get free access to this country in 2014. That's what I want to hear. I very much doubt, though, that I will.
OK, Mr Farage, stay with us for a second. We've had quite a lot of interest in this story. Neil has some tweets that have come in and some emails.
Yeah, unsurprisingly, this story has elicited a very strong reaction from viewers this morning. Ben gets in touch and adopts, I think, a fairly sarcastic tone. Yep, the couple in Rotherham are clearly racists. Why else would they foster non-white, non-Indigenous children? You don't have to be insane to be in politics, but it helps. Concerned citizen gets in touch to say, I am in support of the council taking the children away if the policies of a party the family are members of go against the values and human rights of the children they are fostering. Patrina Price says, this story is so worrying because it shows how thick people in authority really are. They obviously think the couple are in the BNP, not UKIP. Oh dear, this is scary. And John Hobbs gets in touch to say, I can understand Rotherham's decision to question the suitability on racist grounds, but being a member of UKIP is taking it too far.
OK, Neil, thank you. Nigel Farage will put those to you. Mixed views there, as you heard. One that stuck out particularly is that if the party goes against the values of the culture of the children concerned, shouldn't it then at least be discussed?
Look, we love Europe as a party. We love a Europe of different languages, countries and cultures. What we're against is the European Union, which is the attempt to force all those countries into one and to put them under control of unelected bureaucrats. So we want to divorce the United Kingdom from the European Union. We want to get back control of our borders in this country, and we want those same rights and privileges for other European countries too. In no way at all do we go against people's fundamental human rights. In fact, I would argue that we're the party that truly believes in liberty.
Nigel Farage, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.